friends. We all know that fast fashion is bad for the planet, bad for the people who make it, it's bad for our financial health. Go watch that video, I wrote that one. But every time fast fashion is in the discourse, I read all these counter arguments about how fast fashion has better size ranges or it's more affordable, and don't people who aren't skinny and rich deserve nice clothes? Well, yeah, they do. I also think that the people who are sewing those clothes deserve fair wages and working conditions, and I think we all deserve a livable climate. And I think that we deserve those things more than constant on-demand novelty. I guess fast fashion discourse sometimes goes south because all people can hear is what they can't have. But in the spirit of civic imagination, I'm here to tell you what you could have instead. What I think you deserve to have even, because it's pretty great. This past summer, I bought a custom-made dress. It was cut and sewn to my measurements. The person who made it was paid a fair wage with good working conditions. I had full input on the style and fabric. It has high-quality finishings that I've only ever seen in luxury garments, and it cost me far less than what the average American spends on clothing every single month. I'm going to tell you how I pulled that off as someone who's not, royalty. But while I do that, I'm also going to show you what this dress looks like up close and compare it to some of my old fast fashion pieces that I have. Here's what the seams look like. They're very even and sturdy. There's not loose threads. There's not puckering. Some of them are entirely invisible from the outside of the dress. Nothing's left raw or unfinished, and they're not slammed right up to the very edge of the fabric as narrow as possible either. There's a little room here if I ever needed to let this out or take it in. What impressed me most about the seams is that there are just so many of them. The top of this dress has a front panel here and then 2 panels that wrap around the sides, where my fast fashion dresses just have a front and a back. And they rely on the stretch of the fabric to make the garment fit rather than designing the pattern pieces to account for how they'll fall over a 3-dimensional shape. So here's what the process was like. I was looking for a lightweight summer dress, kind of loose and easy shape so it would be comfortable to wear on hot days. I wanted it to be versatile so it would go with most of my existing closet and could dress up or down. I needed it to work with my body so that I can wear a proper bra with it, and it should accommodate changes in body size. And I wanted it to be well made enough to last me a really long time. So I've been following this holy trinity of sustainable fashion influencers who talk a lot about how the #1 thing that we can all do to lessen our impact is to buy less stuff and to take care of what we have. It's rare that they'll actually talk about a product you can buy, but Lakin, who writes the excellent newsletter True Style, retweeted Fern, the slow fashion designer behind the shop Veronica Velveteen. Now, this is not spun. I paid Fern for the dress, not the other way around. I actually asked to interview her for this video, and she was very sweetly yeah, I'm busy sewing, I'm sorry. And you gotta respect someone who's I'm not gonna let you drag me into the content mines because I have a skill. Here's what the zipper looks like. See these things? Fast fashion will truly be so cheap in every aspect of a finishing because this thing where you hook the top of a garment so that you can zip it up makes such a difference to whether or not you can put a dress on yourself or if you need someone else to zip it up for you. And it seems like such a small thing, but it's the difference between me wearing something and not wearing something sometimes, because when clothes are a pain in the ass to put on, I just don't put them on. So anyway, I see this post of a very cute summery dress, the exact kind of silhouette I like on myself, but it's white. And I don't wear white or much of any color other than black. But because this is a slow fashion brand, it's just one person sewing one garment at a time, she has a form on her website that's if you don't see your size or fabric or you're looking for something you want, a little bit longer or shorter, just let me know. So I email her and I'm can I get this, but in a darker color? She sends me back some photos of the fabric she has on hand, and you know what? I don't like any of it. I'm extremely particular about my clothes. I didn't want to go through this whole process to end up with something I felt just okay about. So I email her back. I'm look, I'm sorry to be a pain, but I found some other fabric on Etsy. Could we use that instead? And she tried to buy it from that Etsy seller, but it was out of stock. So she sent me some more options from her dead stock supplier because all these fabrics she was using are leftovers from other designers who have a certain amount of fabric made for their collections, and then if they don't use it all, people like Fern buy it and give it a second life so that it doesn't just get thrown away. So that's dead stock. But we go back and forth half a dozen emails until I find a fabric that I like. Who at ASOS is going to do that for you? No one. So looking at the fabric, this is 100% linen, which is a material made of flax. It's super lightweight and airy, which means it's so comfortable in hot weather. A lot of my other dresses are polyester, and I'll be real with you, they're cute dresses and they don't wrinkle, but I didn't appreciate until I had my first linen dress how much polyester makes you sweat. Like, I was wearing this linen dress multiple days in a row during the heat waves this summer because I didn't really sweat at all. And I bet it's possible to buy fast fashion linen dresses somewhere, but it's definitely less common to see them in entirely natural fibers like this. I suppose I should be concerned about microplastics. To be honest, I don't really understand what's going on there, but I know that this will not make them, and this other dress will. Then she asked me to send my bust and waist measurements so she could cut this to fit my body exactly. And this is the part that really broke me. I can never go back to how I was shopping before. I have clothes in my closet that say small and medium and large, and that are numbered anything between a 4 and a 10. Clothes sizing makes no sense, but to just be here's what it says on a measuring tape and be done. This is the life that we could all be living, guys. So she sent me an invoice. Fabric plus labor plus shipping to the US cost me $115. If you're used to Shein prices, you might be like, Taylor, I could have 5 dresses for that much money. And you could. But the average person in the US is buying $1,754 of clothes each year, which could still get you 15 of these dresses. That's so many clothes. And for the amount of time and effort that went toward making this item exactly for my body and my preferences, I think she could have charged a lot more. Here is the lining. I have one other piece of clothing that has a lining at all. A lining is an inner layer of fabric, basically another little dress within a dress. It makes things lay nicely. It makes it so you can't see your underwear or your skin through the clothing. If you're the kind of person who gets irritated by the feeling of seams or tags rubbing against your body, you probably love having linings because they cover all of that up. But this is one of the first corners fashion brands will cut because it's a lot of extra fabric and it's a lot of extra work. But once I actually got to wear lined dresses, I realized how much this race to the bottom on pricing and short-term trendiness has distorted our understanding of what quality clothes even look like. Even expensive brands don't often line their clothes anymore, but now I kind of consider it like they're selling an unfinished dress. I want better than that, don't you? I also feel good knowing that the person who made this dress decided how much money her time was worth and what she needed to make a decent living wage, and then told me, and then I paid that. I don't want to treat my clothes or the people who make them like garbage. I just want a really nice dress, and I want its designer to have a really nice life, and it's thrilling to me. That is apparently possible for 95 British pounds. Then it took 6 weeks from when I ordered it to when it arrived at my doorstep, so I guess there's a trade-off too. You can't panic buy a dress for your coworker's party that you have to go to this weekend. You can't change your mind about your aesthetic and haul a whole new wardrobe at once this way. But what if instead you could have clothes that fit you perfectly, that you're gonna love for years and years because you got to help decide what they looked like, that you could know the name and email of the person sewing them and that they're gonna be able to pay their rent on time. Clothes that feel good, that are beautifully made, and that aren't landfill bound. I think you should be allowed to have that. And I hope now you know that you can. More links are in the description for how to find a slow fashion brand to work with and how to switch up your consumption cycle so that you can afford better, because I think you deserve better. In that spirit, tell me in comments about the piece of clothing you've loved the longest and how you found it. If you'd like to help me make a living wage for my craft, you can do that at patreon.com/ItsRadishTime. There are many tiers of support, including a free one if you want to hear from me more often. All right, I will see you on October 13th for the Hope Punk Book Club with Sabrina Cruz. Bye.